ICBC seems to have a fairly good plan when it comes to insuring collector cars. The problems begin when enthusiast vehicles are damaged or stolen, and none of the estimators are competent to oversee the repairs, even if they may think they are. My next story is about exactly that. I have never worked with even one other estimator who had owned a collector car. In 1990, I had already owned 30, dating from 1926 to 1980. When a Rolls-Royce, Ferrari, or Porsche drove into the claim center, it always seemed that when I reached for my next claim sheet, that was the one I got. About 7 years ago, my brother came to me and asked if I would go with him to the claim center to discuss a problem ICBC was laying on him. He owns a fully restored 1959 Buick Electra two-door hardtop. The engine had caught fire when it was parked and burned the wiring harness in the cowl area. The repair shop billed ICBC around $11,000 to replace the wiring harness. ICBC, of course, thought this was too high, so they were trying to get my brother to pay for part of it. First of all, shops don't bill ICBC like this. They have to itemize everything with a corresponding price for parts and labor that can be substantiated. The MD supervisor that we met was a guy I had worked with at ICBC and even knew him several years before that. I felt he was a competent estimator with no aptitude for management, and now he was a supervisor. I think he knew he was sunk when he saw me. I said, "This problem is between ICBC and the repair shop." My brother bought insurance so he would not have to pay for this. The supervisor and some other guy who was there for his moral support, I suppose, tried to tell us that my brother should pay part of the bill because the car is better now than it was before the claim. I then questioned the supervisor about what type of parts were used on the vehicle. Were they of a quality and from a source that would be acceptable to an enthusiast who might want to buy the vehicle? Or had ICBC in fact devalued the vehicle? It was at this moment that I coined the phrase decelerated appreciation, meaning a collector car whose increasing value had been slowed by improper repair. Look out, ICBC. I asked him what brand the wiring harness was. Specifically, was it an OEM harness? Then he said something that absolutely floored me. He said, "I am not familiar with the term OEM. What does it mean?" I was speechless. My brother kindly explained to him that it stood for Original Equipment Manufacturer, which meant it was manufactured by the same company that made the original. Another lesser but acceptable replacement would be a part made to the exact specifications of the original. The fact that it works is not enough to make it acceptable when you are dealing with antiques. The people who buy these cars are fussy. I said to the supervisor, if ICBC is going to insure collector cars, they should learn something about them. So here we had a supervisor who did not even know the main buzzword of the car collecting hobby, had not determined the quality of the repair, yet was asking for the insured to help pay the bill. I told him my brother is not paying for any of it. Then I went home and phoned my lawyer. He said, if your brother has the car back and everything is okay, just forget about it. So that's what we did. I don't know what happened between ICBC and the shop, and I don't care. It's not our problem. This website is called How ICBC Cheats You. My brother was smart enough to call me, so they failed.